Hi, I'm Dr. Richard Hamburg. I'm a board-certified otolaryngologist, and I am director of a certified sleep lab in New York. I treat sleep diseases, most specifically obstructive sleep apnea, snoring, and airway management. Over the years, I've developed a FDA-approved device that helps patients sleep through the night without snoring, without obstructing. And this is an alternative to the conventional CPAP that many of you know that patients have to wear a mask and sleep through the night. They have been quite happy with the results. And with the changes in healthcare and the increased costs that are now being transferred to the patients, at times I've had patients that have had difficulty in paying for the cost of this custom device that I produced. I always felt that I could hopefully make a device that would be consumer oriented, something that would not require paying for copays, deductibles, and coming to my office, something where I could provide to a larger spectrum of patients, but could not find the materials that were available that I could create the same quality that I now do in my office for a consumer device. Where a few years ago I discovered a new plastic, and this plastic was a thermoplastic material, which meant you could boil it and then bite into it and create an impression of your teeth. It had retentive properties that were required for me to create the same device that I do for my patients in my office in your own home. So this was very exciting for me because now I could spend the time designing a consumer-based appliance that could easily be heated up in a boiling pot at home, molded to your own mouth, and now provide a comfortable, easy-to-use device that will stop both snoring and, more importantly, obstructive airway disease. The consumer devices that are currently on the market have the limitation that they utilize this older type of plastic, a plastic that, although boils and softens, does not retain tension on the teeth, and in the nighttime falls out of the mouth as you open the drawer. In addition, they trivialize the condition and imply that it's just a matter of snoring, let me stop the snoring. Many patients snore because they have obstructive sleep apnea. I would say 80 to 90% of the patients have both conditions. And you cannot effectively control snoring if you don't deal with the upper airway obstruction. My device deals with both. It is important that the patients understand that this is critical for your care. I'd like to take the time to show you what's available out on the market and kind of go and contrast my device so you can understand that this is truly something unique, truly something that you need to try. So I think many of you who've done any searches on Google will recognize many of these brands. So I'm going to talk about today the ZQuiet device, the Eliminator Pro, the Zipa, which is a very, very creative advertising campaign. But when I received this box and I saw the size of this box, I said, wow, this is going to be something that's going to impress me. And then you open up and you see this is the Zipa. I haven't even shown you what it actually looks like. You're going to be quite surprised. Then we're going to talk about the Vital Sleep, and finally the SnoreX. And we're going to talk about the pros and cons of each and get you to understand what I'm talking about why what I'm providing now is really, really unique. So you don't think much about it and you order the ZQuiet. So here's the ZQuiet. Now the ZQuiet, when I saw this, I just couldn't believe it. So yeah, they do give you two, so you should be very happy that they gave you two, because you're probably going to bite through one of these pretty quickly. But this is the ZQuiet. Now you tell me that This is going to custom fit your mouth and custom project your jaw to the level where it controls your snoring and sleep apnea. I don't think so. It's a standard position where they have set your lower jaw forward and you're supposed to bite into this device. Okay. So if you could sleep like that and think that that's going to cure your sleep apnea, I don't think so. Let's look at Eliminator Pro. Now, Eliminator Pro uses the same typical boil and bite thermoplastic material housed in a harder shell. The nice part about this device is they're thinking about a custom amount of protrusion that you can eventually create, because it turns out that the amount of protrusion that you may initially use when you start using it will change over time as your muscles relax. So to get effective control, you need to be able to advance it. And this has another issue that's a problem. The distance between your bite, the wider it is in the molars, can cause a lot of strain on your jaw as you clench. So that can be a problem. But more importantly, it's a fixed size. So you just have to boil this and put this into your mouth, and it assumes that everybody's shape of the mandible or the maxilla is the same, and it does not change for that. It's not something that is likely that you're going to be able to effectively control snoring and sleep apnea. Now the Zipa. The Zipa does not offer you any advancement. It is a fixed device. So you cannot adjust the position later as you become more accustomed to it. It has a claim to fame that it has this stabilizing tongue apparatus that sits on the tongue. I don't know of any medical article that has ever suggested that a strap over the tongue will stabilize the tongue. The tongue is attached to the mandible. If the jaw is pushed forward, it will not fall back based on the attachments to the mandible. This little strap is not going to do anything to help or hurt the position of the tongue. But once again, you boil this and you bite into it. It does have this ability to, I guess, expand or contract to different sizes of mouths, because when you boil it, it probably will soften and adjust. But again, once again, it is not adjustable and it's fixed. So you got to stay in a constant position. Although the ad is quite creative. Moving along, we have the Vital Sleep. Now, the Vital Sleep is an interesting device in that it's flexible. So I like that. It's flexible. So therefore, based on different sizes and shapes of one's mouth, when you boil this, it's going to adjust to that. And that's a plus. That's a real plus. And I like the fact that it has this adjustment so that you can, over time, advance the jaw forward as necessary. What I don't like about it is it's a fixed device. So as you advance to the point where you need to be advanced, you cannot handle being in a fixed position all night long. And also, it has the same issue of retention. So when you open your mouth at night, if you become a mouth breather or you yawn, you're out of it. You're totally out of this device. Lastly, SnoreX, SnoreRx. SnoreRx has the same advantages of adjustment as we saw with the Vital Sleep. It also utilizes this boil and bite plastic to adjust adapt to the teeth, but it has the same restrictions that there's no retention on the teeth and you are in a maintained closed position. What is nice is they've recognized that the height, although this still is, the maximum height is 3 millimeters, and this is close to that of where you want your molars. So the height is a little less than the others, but it's still there. But what I don't like, again, is this outer shell that won't adjust width and shape to the front and back. And once again, you have to maintain that forward position. So there are most of the devices there. Now, this is what the NuSleep OTC looks like. It is two separate components, but it works by putting the upper in and the lower in. So you can go like this, put the upper in, put the lower in, it's in your mouth. You can talk, drink. It has the ability that it's thin between the molars. You can open and close your mouth, and we have full adjustability forward and back. And this material is retentive. It will not fall out of your mouth. This is a significant advantage so that you're not locked in position. We have all of the maintenance, all of the ability to adjust as necessary to get you into the proper position. It is extremely comfortable. There is this additional ledge that we put on here because it turns out that you do get a little better result with a little more anterior opening, not back molar opening, but anterior molar. So this is something that is very similar to a custom device that is made at a dental lab. So this is a custom device that works very similarly to this device. The difference being, this is dual laminate. This is soft on the inside, a little harder on the outside. This is not, but it's custom to your mouth. It's made in your home. It allows for separate integration, not a fixed unit. We have the same basic apparatus of adjustability forward and back as we have on here. This sells for $6,000, and this is consumer priced.